Hello again, ICT101 students. I'm going to try to keep this video brief, and I think I actually may post two. I found out the reason why I was having some issues with my audio was because of the internet connection that I'm having. I'm having some issues with the slow connection, and when I was uploading the video file to YouTube, it actually eliminated the audio to save space. I'm in Canvas here. If you can see on the screen here, I am in week 2, and I want to talk about these items right here. Okay, so this ProQuest suggestions, if you haven't looked at this yet, I would recommend that you take a look at this. This is a Word document in here, and I meant to cover this in class on Tuesday, but did not get into it. But I would highly recommend that you get in and take a look at that document. It's really kind of like a best practices for using ProQuest to search for journal articles and other sources. So think of it more as tips and tricks, so to speak. This next one down here, this next file, is an online sources suggestions. There are some sources in here that I want to point out to you. I'm going to show them to you briefly, and while that loads, I will. Okay, so there it's loading already. So here we go. These are some sources other than Google for you to use. So for general searches, there's a site called the Pew Research. It's pewresearch.org. They are a government-commissioned organization that does a lot of research related to a lot of different topic areas. So, for instance, one of the sections of the research that they do, and it's quite large, is related specifically to the internet. So it's Pew Internet Research, and that one has a ton of good information, research studies, data tables, you name it. There's a lot of good stuff on there related to the internet and the impact that it has on American life. Okay, so I'd recommend checking these out, at least to take a look at them. We're going to revisit these again when you do your group project later on. Someone asks you to use one of these sources here. The other one is Google Scholar. Google has its general search engine, but they also have a scholar.google.com. That one will yield more scholarly results when you do the search. So it looks a lot different. If you click on that link and type in media bias, your search results look a lot different because a lot of what's brought up is academic research related stuff. Okay. There's Jump Search, which is WordPress. That's a good site. I use that often for looking for information. It's a good one to start your research. Another one is Microsoft's academic research, and it's just academic.research.microsoft.com. Again, the link is here. There are some related to science and technology. So if you have some science courses, science.gov is a good one. There's worldwidescience.org. And some medical related databases. I'd recommend these. You at least take a look at some of these. These are from the National Institute of Health. There's their general website, which is one in the middle, and then they have one that is PubMed, which is a section of the National Institute of Health's website that deals specifically with publications related to the medical field. Okay. Then there's also Medline Plus, which is a good one as well. So I'd recommend taking a look at these. I'm going to jump back here, try to use the back arrow to save a little bit of time. And once my page refreshes, you can see we're into week 2 here again. I'm going to just briefly talk about this ProQuest assignment. This is the one that we worked on in class the other day. So there's still some confusion with this. So I'm going to restate it again. So if you're getting this and you think, why does this guy keep telling us this? The reason is because there is still a great deal of confusion with students regarding what's due, how it's due, when it's due, and all that stuff. Okay, so The ProQuest assignment, 10 sources that we completed, started in class the other day. I see them, they're still trickling in. Those 10 need to be put on a reference page and emailed to me as an attachment. Not as text, but as an attachment. So if you email these to me as text in the email, please redo it, copy and paste it into a Word document or a Google Doc, and email it as an attachment, please. So that's one thing. That is due actually today. Okay, so you should have had that to me already. The next thing that I want to talk about is the second set of sources. So you have 10 more sources that you have to find. Those 10 sources are going to be a combination of Easy Search and Google. Okay, I'm going to click on this link because there's something in here that I do want to show you related to the assignment. So this is actually when you get all 20 sources compiled. Again, you're going to have your 10 that you submitted to me. I'm going to go back into that document, take your other 10 sources, add it to that references page that you already submitted to me, have a total of 20 sources, and then you're going to submit them right here by attaching it as an, and that's the important part here too, that you'll attach it as an attachment and not copy and paste text into here. Okay, this site here, so again, you are to use Easy Search and Google. What I would like for you to do, this Easy Bib that I talked about in class the other day, has a feature on their website where you can evaluate a website. So what I'd like for you to do, and the important thing is here, you get rid of this HTTP right out of there. So if you go out and do a search for media bias, and you find a source. Let me just do this. Okay, so I don't want that one. Let's use this one here. Okay, so I'm going to wait for the site to load, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this URL and I'm going to copy it. This might be a bad site for this. And I'm going to paste it in here. And I'm going to click evaluate. And basically what this is doing, it's walking you through a series of steps and questions that you have to answer. Okay, so what I would like for you to do is use this for a couple of the Google search sites that you come up with. Okay, so you do your Google search related to media bias, you find a couple of good sites, and then I'd like for you to plug those URLs into this Easy Bib resource evaluator and start answering some of the questions over here. So a lot of this means you're going to have to read through it, kind of guess your opinion, your belief on how to answer some of these questions. So for instance, right up front, the purpose of this website is to entertain, sell, persuade, inform, or teach. I don't know the answer to that yet until I would look through this a little bit, and then I'd be able to make a decision. Okay, I'm going to say inform or teach just for the purposes of showing you through a couple of the screens anyways. So based on criteria above, so what they're doing is they're giving you some information here. Not all information published on websites is accurate. To evaluate a source for accuracy, you should look for the following, and it's telling you to look for some of these things. What are the citations or the work cited? Is there anything listed? So look through these, and then you look through your source and you say, you know what, this doesn't seem accurate to me, so I'm going to put inaccurate, and I'm going to move on. Okay, so again, this isn't something that's automatically going to just tell you whether the site is good or not, but it's going to prompt you into making the determination on your own, which I think is really good and what is really needed. So play around with this, like I said, for at least a couple of the sites. And then when you're doing your easy search, we're back here, I'm on the library homepage, and this is where I'm going to spend the remainder of the time talking here, the next few minutes. So I want to clarify this. What recently happened with easy search is that apparently all of the search results are under the domain of ProQuest Central. Okay, so when you do a search in here, I type in media bias. Excuse me. I click find it. Again, this is the easy search window here. When this figures out the search and it populates all the results, as I mentioned in class, you can drill down a little bit. So I'm going to do that just a bit here. So I'm going to say, you know what, I only want full text online. I only want magazine articles. You can drill down further, say within the past 12 months. That'll populate dates in here automatically based on today's date. And then once this refreshes in the middle here, your results are based on these three criteria that I just told it to use. Okay, so now I have my sources. Okay, what I'd mentioned in class was that I don't want you to use any ProQuest sources here. That is not going to be possible because no matter what you do, they're ProQuest sources. My understanding is they're all ProQuest sources. So what you're going to be doing is finding the sources, and even if it says ProQuest here, that's okay. You can still use it. You can still use it. Okay. So if you see ProQuest listed in here, you can still use it. That's where the confusion was, and that's what I wanted to clarify a bit. Okay. So find your sources. Again, you're going to cite your sources. With this easy search, you can cite them. It is a bit different than the other citation that we completed in class, but you can still get the citation from here. Okay, and then you're going to populate these. If it's 5 from here, 5 from Google, incorporated into the 10 that you emailed to me already. That will be your final submission, your final assignment that'll be ready to be submitted here. It's not going to be emailed to me. It's not going to be submitted in anywhere else in Canvas other than right here. Okay, now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to show you how to get to this again. So when you log in, here you're on the home page. Week 2, this very bottom link right here is the link to submit your final ProQuest completed 20 sources assignment. Okay, and you'll note this is a big assignment. It's worth 20 points, so it's one of the bigger ones in the class. That's why we're taking over a week to complete this thing out of a 5-week course. That's significant. So again, you're going to submit it here by clicking this button, attaching the assignment, and submitting. And that is all I have. So I'll field questions related to this. If you have any questions, you can use the message feature within Canvas. You can email me. You can text me. I will ask you, please, if you do use any of those communication means, that you please put the course name and section number. So if you are in the 12:30 class, you're section 8. If you're in the 2 o'clock class, you're section 10. Okay, so please do that so I can distinguish, and if it's a specific question to an assignment, I know right where to go to look, because I am, again, teaching 5 classes this term, and it's much easier for me if I don't have to try to guess what class or what section that you're in. Okay, that's all I have. Have a good Thursday evening and a good coming weekend, and if you're a football fan, happy first weekend of NFL season. Take care. Bye-bye.